Good morning. Welcome to Unity in Marin. I'm Reverend Tim Lytle, Senior Minister here at Unity in Marin. It's such a joy to have you join us wherever you are. And Unity in Marin is a wonderful spiritual community. It is a community that helps to support one another in our spiritual unfoldment, in our spiritual journey to awaken to the presence of God living as us. If you are new to us, you can go to this text number. If you would go to 415-991-7111. You can text the word welcome if you are new to us. If you've been with us for a while, you can text the word loop. That helps to establish some connection with us. You'll receive a digital card where you can fill in just some basic information. Also, each Sunday, and this is restarting again today, at 12:30 today, we will have a Zoom meeting. And that's for any of you who wish to connect online so that we can talk more deeply about the message or about what is going on in our lives. That link for that Zoom meeting can be found on our e-blast, or it can be found in our website. If you go to the events, you can find that link as you go to the events. We're so grateful to have you with us. And today we have the special privilege of Jason Myers, our pianist and who assists us with lots of music here. Jason is going to provide our special music today. Thank you, Jason.
Good morning, Unity, and Happy New Year to you. So I thought today we'd get everybody standing up wherever you are and let your little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you, Jason. And it's so good to have you all with us. Up at the front, we have our prayer box, and our prayer chaplains would bring this up every Sunday morning. I invite you to virtually place your requests there. A little later in the service, we will explain how you can send prayer requests to us, but there's a lot of things for which we are praying. I would invite you all to be praying for our country. Our country is going through a lot of transition. Some of you are watching from other countries, and I don't know what news you have heard, but it's been a challenging time for many of us here. Also, regarding the whole COVID-19 situation in the United States, Southern California in particular has had a real high spike. And I just found out this morning that a friend of mine died from it. So let's hold all of our world, all of our country in our prayers. There's just a lot going on. I'm sure there are things going on in your life as well, things for which you are grateful and things that concern you. Might be in your family or your finances or your health. Whatever it may be, wherever you are, God is. All of God is fully present. So I invite you to relax where you are if you wish. You can close your eyes or just relax your gaze. And we take a deep breath together. And in this moment, we know the presence of Spirit is right where we are. All the presence of healing, all the presence of abundance, all the presence of protection, all that God is here right now. Wherever you are filled and surrounded in the presence of God. Feel this in your heart. Feel this presence permeating every cell in your body, bringing health and wholeness, bringing peace to your mind, and opening your spirit. Spirit, we bless this time. We bless this service. We are grateful for the flow of Spirit here, knowing we are the inflow and outflow of all there is in God. And for this, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen. I'm very grateful for Gabe Paulson, who has been a leader here in our church and is our worship assistant today. Gabe is going to lead us in the daily word and in our morning meditation. Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you, Reverend Tim. Good morning, Unity. Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Reverend Tim, for such a heartfelt and moving morning prayer. The daily word for today is prosperity. And as we start the new year, I think it's a great time to really recharge and to take some of these messages and to really draw close. I know almost all of us are on Zoom right now. We're looking through a camera, but I'm actually here in the sanctuary, and I really want to invite you to feel like you're standing right here with us because we are connected in spirit, if not physically. So prosperity. I claim prosperity now. When I feel tempted to wish for a more prosperous life, I remember my prosperity begins at the level of my thinking. I focus my thoughts on the many blessings already in my life, and I feel grateful. From this place of gratitude, it becomes easy to notice more and more of the blessings around me. This awareness helps me develop this attitude of prosperity. I tend to my thoughts of prosperity as though they were flowers in a garden. I plant them in good soil. I nurture them with water and sunshine. This rich environment allows prospering ideas to take root and grow. And as I nurture the ideas, I am abundantly blessed in my life, my love, my health, my joy. And from the Psalms, they feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. Martin Luther King said once that only when it's really, really dark do you get to see the stars. And some of you out there might feel that. Whatever is going on in your life, there's a place, there's a point of view, there's a state of heart and consciousness where the darkness has the beauty of the stars. And as we move into the silent meditation, I invite you to take that intention, to take that possibility, and to choose to see what is healing right now, what is growing right now, and what is possible right now. So let's go into the silence. We are truly blessed. And I'm so grateful for all of you who are here today. Thank you and amen.
So this is a song that I wrote recently, and as I was writing it, I was thinking about, it was actually while I was going through a down period and thinking about other folks out there going through the same thing, and to realize that there is a source that we can tap into, that we're all connected and we really aren't alone. And the title of this is To Whom It May Concern.
You'll go. You know, we practice all through the year, but especially emphasize in the month of January, the power of faith, power of belief. That our faith is that power which can lead us to all kinds of places we would never have imagined earlier in our lives. Sometimes we think that certain things are impossible. I was listening this morning to a song, one of my favorite songs by Bruce Hornsby, and it's entitled The Way It Is. And in this song, Bruce Hornsby talks about people who are being told of certain things that they'll never be able to do, or places they can never go because of their color or because of their age or because of whatever. And what he says in the song is, don't you believe them? Inside, each of us knows that the presence of God is living itself as us. Paul in Acts chapter 17 says that in God we live, move, and have our being. So there's no limitation in God. There's no limitation in this infinite presence that is created and outpictured all that we see. There's no limitation whatsoever. And if we are in fact the outpicturing of that, and what else could we be, then how could there be any limitation for what it is that you truly dream and are called to do? How could there be any limitation other than the limitation that we place upon ourselves? Last Sunday, we had the burning bowl ceremony. It wasn't a burning bowl ceremony last Sunday. It was, some people called it the drowning bowl. Some people called it the releasing bowl. But we used water, and we had paper that would dissolve, and we had a drive-through. A lot of people came, and thank you for showing up. It gave me the opportunity to connect with a lot of people I haven't seen for the last 9 months. And people wrote down on this paper what it is they wish to release, what is getting in their way of fully expressing the divine. And they would place that in the water, and wow, it would dissolve. That is an opening phase of really stepping into what are we here to do. We have an absolute abundance class that is starting a week from this Tuesday on January 19th. Gabe will tell us a little bit more about that soon. But this class, which has 10 sessions in it, entitled Metamorphosis, will help transform you into a person of intentionality, a person who uses the power of your faith to create the life of your dreams. Are you willing to do that? Let me ask you a few questions. Do you have all the money that you need? Do you have the dream job that you want? Do you have the tasks or the creativity or the adventure in your life that you dream of? Do you have the relationships that you desire? Do you have whatever it is that Spirit is bringing up for you and placing that vision in front of you? That is exactly what this absolute abundance class is all about. It's helping us to move deeply into these spiritual principles, support each other in each of our individual work so that we can create our lives. Now, I have some quotes. Now, first, I'll give you a quote from Matthew chapter 9, verse 29. And this is Jesus speaking. Jesus was touching the eyes of some of those who were blind. And Jesus said, "Be it done unto you according to your faith," or "Be it done unto you according to your belief." Jesus emphasized over and over and over, if you study the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the Christian scriptures, what you will find is that Jesus doesn't claim that he is the one who is doing all of this healing. Over and over and over, what Jesus says to these people who are healed is, your faith has healed you. Your belief has healed you. If you say to this mountain, be cast into the sea, and believe, he said, it will be done. He said, whatever things you believe and truly believe, it shall be done. That's the teaching of Jesus. We didn't dream that up. Now, that's something that we talk about a lot in Unity, but we didn't dream this up. This is going way, way back. It goes back even before Jesus. But Jesus taught these principles very strongly. So when I talk about, the places you'll go, it's up to you. Where do you want to go? Have you ever gotten in a taxi and they want to know, where do you want to go? Now, sometimes, I suppose you could say, well, just take me somewhere. And that's how a lot of people live their lives. Let's just see where we land. Or do you have a specific place that you want to go? Now, I've shared with you from the Gospel of Matthew. Now I want to share with you from the Gospel of Dr. Seuss. This comes from the last book that was published while Dr. Seuss was still living. In January of 1990. So, what's that been? 31 years ago. He published the book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. Some people get that like a graduation or at special big events in their life. And I read it recently over Christmas vacation. I thought, wow, this is so appropriate. It's just chock full of the same principles we teach. Let me share some of the quotes with you. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own. You know what you know. And you are the one who will decide where to go. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. What Dr. Seuss in this book points out is that when we're pursuing our dreams, there can be downfalls too. There can be challenging times. There can be times where we are tempted to believe that we are lost, or that we don't know what we're doing, or, this is so hard. There's times in our lives where we struggle with, what is going to happen? Certainly this last week, this last Wednesday, a lot of us were watching TV and wondering, what's going to happen in our country? And yet, we do not lose our faith. We do not lose our faith in all that we are experiencing or the things that we are going through, because that faith is the actual presence of God living itself as us. That presence can never be diminished, divided. It can never be in any way defeated. That presence is, I believe, that presence that Dr. Seuss is talking about when he says you have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You are the one that you've been waiting for. You are the one to do those things that you've been dreaming of. You are the one to do amazing things. What are you waiting for? Now, some of us have excuses. And I've heard great excuses from people. I've had some great ones myself. Sometimes I'll catch myself giving an excuse, and I've become aware and awake enough that I realize I'm giving an excuse, but I'm thinking, it's a really good one, and maybe this person will let me get by with it. my wife, who is here today, fortunately will not do that. She does not enable my excuses. It's good to have someone like that who can call you on your stuff. Excuses are a stall tactic of the false ego. The false ego wants to kind of keep us in the status quo, thinking it's going to protect us, thinking it's going to keep us safe, but actually it's keeping us imprisoned. And so the false ego will come up with these excuses, these stories about why we can't do this and why we can't do that, and so forth. But the presence of God living itself as you, expressing and expanding and expressing in this world as you, can never be limited. It can't be held back. So, as we're going through this month of January and through this new year of 2021, what are the places to which you will go? What are the places that you will express? It could be writing. We have someone here who teaches our writing class, Sue Summer. It may be music that you will get into. It may be dance. We have a teacher here of jazzercise, Debbie Sweeney. It could be expressing yourself in terms of acting. It could be expressing yourself in running for politics. Maybe you're tired of the way politics are going. Maybe it's time for you to run for office. Have you thought about it? What is it that Spirit is calling you to do? I invite you to lovingly drop the excuses. My mom loves art. And while I was a kid, I was raised listening to classical music and seeing art and going to the art museum. My mom just loves art. And so after us kids were grown, my mom decided to start taking art classes. Okay, this is later in life, but this is something she wanted to do, and she became a very, very accomplished oil painter. It's never too late. Whatever it is that is coming up for you from Spirit, this is your time to do it. Why wait? What are we waiting for? This is our time. This is our time also as a spiritual community. We're not just on pause here. We're not just in a holding pattern. We are growing. We are growing in terms of the number of people who are watching and participating online. We are growing in terms of the in-depth work we are doing in classes. We are growing in terms of people continuing to be involved in this spiritual community. We will not be held back because unity in Marin is a divine idea from the mind of God. Therefore, it cannot be defeated. And I'm so grateful for all the ways in which you help support unity in Marin. We're going to be hearing in a little bit about faith in action and getting an update on that. Faith in action is a way that we put that power of faith into action to support this spiritual community that helps to support each one of us. I love you all. I bless you, and I'm grateful for you. And I know with each and every one of you, a very happy new year. Next Sunday, we'll be looking at Martin Luther King Jr. as a template for how we can really express the power of God as change in our world. Please join us next Sunday. And I would invite you to join me in these affirmations at this time. Where I am, the presence of God is. The presence of God can never be defeated. I live my dreams. I let go of excuses. I go forward with a mighty zeal to do that which needs to be done by me. And so it is. Amen. It's wonderful to have all of you here with us. And we're now going to have some more music from Jason Myers. After the music, Jim Walsh will come up, our leader for Faith in Action, and then Gabe will lead us in some more announcements.
So this next song is one, again, that there is a source we can rely on, whether it be friends, spirit, family, and this one is called And You Were There.
my wife, Olga Lucia, to join me up here. A number of you haven't. Some of you have never seen her. And, because we have people who watch us from all around the world, and some of them have never met you. And some of you haven't seen her for the last 9 months. We just want to let you know that we send you blessings, and I'm so grateful for Olga Lucia. And we hold you in our heart. We hold you in our prayer consciousness always. We love you and bless you. And we believe in this spiritual community. That's why we support it. And Jim Walsh is now going to come up and talk with us about ways in which we can support this wonderful spiritual community.
Thank you, Tim. Olga Lucia, it is so wonderful to see you again. Now I have to be on my best behavior. Good morning, Unity. I am Jim Walsh. For the past 7, 8, 9 weeks, I have had the absolute privilege of chairing the Faith in Action Steering Committee. Our mission has been to operate the fundraising campaign, which is essentially the operating funds for Unity for the entire year. We're going to wrap the campaign the end of this month, so we're a little bit past halfway in the program. What I'd like to do today is kind of do a little status check. And to begin that, we're going to run a video of the awesome, hardworking, incredible volunteer, Dr. Lynn Seaver-Forsey, with a short video about the state of the church as we commence this campaign. Connect, would you run the video, please? Thank you.
Good morning, Unity Marin. It's great to see you all. Okay, the listening that we're going to have right at this moment is we can move forth into our vision by being grounded in the present. Okay, so what I've been asked to do is provide an update on our current financial situation and where we are today in order to spring forward into the new world. So when the COVID pandemic began in March, do you remember that? Unity Marin was running with about $58,500 per month of expenses. Revenue pretty much covered those expenses, but our planned facilities rental income was lower than expected. So at that point in time, we were really working on that so that we could resolve that issue. Well, now we're in our 9th month of the COVID emergency. And as you can imagine, our finances have been significantly impacted, as I know some of yours have been as well. Compared to this same point a year ago, our giving is down by about a third, 33%. Our facility rentals income has decreased by 98%. We still have a few events, but you know what's happened. And revenues from our programs is down by 83%. When everything is combined together, our revenue for the most recent quarter is almost $100,000 or 45% less than we had at this time a year ago. But guess what? We're still here. Our actions to respond to this crisis have been in 4 categories. Number 1, we applied for and we were granted a payroll protection loan that the federal government gave to small businesses. And it was fabulous, and we used it. Number 2, our lender allowed us to pause our mortgage and interest payments for 6 months initially, and now they've extended that to us through April of 2021. That's, every little bit helps. 3, all of you, but particularly, Sam and Mel Engel and our anonymous donor that started the Betty Martin Fund, you all stepped up with some fabulous contributions over the past few months, and that has kept us going. So we definitely appreciate that. Fourth, the staff and our board have worked tirelessly to reduce expenses wherever possible. And that's shedding things that we've no longer needed or have realized were inefficient, such as applying for and getting different insurances that cost much less for the same or better coverage. And I'm happy to report that the Hamilton Montessori School has grown and is a consistent contributor with 19 full-time equivalent students. So we really, really appreciate the leadership of Hamilton Montessori School and all the support for them. Yet, our current budget reflects the reality of almost 50% less income than we're used to having. We've made the difficult decision to cut some staff hours in addition to cutting non-staff expenses wherever possible. We're currently operating on a budget of about $40,000 per month, not including our mortgage and interest payments. That's an $18,500 per month savings from what we were doing before. For the month of October, our income was about $20,000 less than expenses, even with everything that we've done. So we had to dip in a bit into our reserves, which we are holding because, we need to have that. So really what I want you to understand is our operations are supported by your contributions, by all of our contributions. Our Faith in Action goal for this year is $500,000, and that's a real goal. That's what's going to enable us to navigate these times that we're in and to continue working, growing, thriving to achieve our vision that we have, which is a vision of a thriving, wonderful community, which we are. So as Reverend Tim said last week, being aware of what's so keeps us grounded as we tap into the source and power of abundance. Increasing our individual knowledge of Unity Marin's finances allows us to contribute our time, talents, and treasure to achieve the financial abundance for Unity and Marin. We are happy to provide any of you with more detail. You can easily email board@Unity and Marin to get further detail on this, but that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much.
Last week I was wired, sorry. Lynn, thank you so much. The work you do for our spiritual home, we just can't overstate how wonderful it is, the work that you do. Thank you. You heard it. That's the truth. And we have a lot of work to do. We're just past the halfway point in our campaign. Connect, let's see, good. And we're just past the $250,000 mark in reaching our $500,000 goal. So we've got some work to do. I want to particularly shout out a couple of 4 enterprises. The board of Unity is 100% pledged. The worship assistants are 100% pledged. Unity Men's Group, way to go, Tom Brown, is 100% pledged. And the prayer chaplains are also 100% pledged. Really want to thank you all for bringing your best. Now, whether you're in Naughton, Massachusetts, or Manassas, Virginia, Beijing or Bangkok, anywhere that you are that you're seeing our program, our video feeds, we want to include you in our spiritual family. We can't do this without you because, frankly, like everywhere else, so much of our base has been really hammered. So whatever you can do to join with us would be deeply appreciated. I want to point out that those who do make a pledge to Faith in Action will receive possibly the coolest mask ever. If you can't see it on the screen, it says Keeping the Faith on the left with the Unity logo on the right. I've gotten compliments wearing this mask. It's really wonderful, completely washable. So please give that some thought. Bottom line, folks, it just boils down to your spiritual beliefs and your spiritual commitments and what kind of unity you wish to return to. We ask that you give some deep, prayerful thought to the principle of abundance and how you can support us in the Faith in Action campaign. connect, please.
Your generous contribution to Unity in Marin permits the countless good works that support and spiritually feed the larger community. Won't you support our work with a pledge to the Faith in Action campaign? Simply go to unityinmarin.org for the quick and simple steps to make your pledge. Thank you.
Old habits die hard. Very, very briefly, 3 ways to connect with Faith in Action. The first is simply to go to our website, unityinmarin.org, drop down on the donate button, and there's some easy steps to follow to register. The second is our text to give. Simply dial 84321, entering a dollar amount on your phone, hit send, and the other prompt that you'll need to know is that we are Unity in Marin. There'll be a drop-down menu for what organization to donate to. Unity Marin will do it. If you have any questions or challenges with those processes, please call our office and ask for Dory. She'd be happy to help you any way you need to become part of the program. I think that's pretty much a wrap, yeah. Unity in Marin, those of you viewing around the world, thank you so very much for your consideration. Thank you so much for supporting our spiritual home. Thank you.
Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave, and there is nothing that we can lack. We give from love, love gives it back. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave, and there is nothing that we can lack. We give from love, love gives it back.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Jason, and all the music is always such a great message. And Jim, I want to really especially thank Jim Walsh for taking up this really important work and being such a leader in something that really needs to happen, which is our fundraising. And thank you to Reverend Tim for a really great talk and a reminder. I think of the line in the Bible, be ye as children, and how sometimes we need to put on the eyes of Dr. Seuss or children to reclaim our innocence. It feels like 2020 in the present, some of us have lost our innocence, or we continually do that, and we can also regain it. And in that innocence, we find our faith. So for that message, thank you so much, Reverend Tim. We really are a community. I'm standing here today in this spot that's meant so much to me time and time again. I remember being here with my 5-month-old son, holding him on Father's Day. My wife, Neve, and I actually used this room for our wedding celebration. I've done lots of, spiritual things here. And I feel all of you who are watching now, all of you who've decided to continue to be a part of this, you're really part of something greater. And we are a community. Every element, whether it's the music or the different gifts, we just bring so much, and together we're so much stronger. And this is such a good time to remember we are community and we really hold each other and we're together. The services that we do, as you may know, are done online and will continue to be online, so that we do the live service at 9:30 and then we rebroadcast it at 11:15. So continue to watch and know they're available online if you ever want to go back, if there's some little tidbit you want to hear again. And we have a few things coming up, a few last announcements before we close our service. And as you know, Martin Luther King Jr., his day is not tomorrow, but next Monday. And what a calling, what a time. I think of the Bible again where Jesus posed the question of the Samaritan to the Jews. What's your relationship to the people that you don't fully understand or different from you? And I think George Floyd and all that happened in 2020, and actually our United States history, continually poses that question to spiritual communities, to practical Christians, to practical people of humanity and faith. And much of what we have and offer here now is showing our impetus to social justice, our desire to expand our hope and our prosperity through conscience and social justice. So one of the great events is now we have every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, Cindy Acker giving the Get Real with Race discussion. And I really invite all of you to take at least some time, attend one of these. There's no pre-registration. And Cindy is such another part of what makes this community great. She's part of the choir. She leads the choir. She really helped us set up the Montessori. It was her brainchild, and she works with children. And she's just an intelligent and wonderful voice, and really an expansion of our conscious interracial consciousness here at Unity. So I encourage you to really take that in as one of the things that will grow us as we move into 2021. Another great thing is absolute abundance. So we have another Unity Church across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and it's Reverend Ken Daigle and Reverend Deanne, and they put together this class. And Reverend Tim alluded to prosperity. I just wanted to give you one little tidbit. As I mentioned, I held Finn, my little boy, here, and Neve, my beautiful wife. We got married here. But for some years, or before this all happened, I had a picture on my wall, and it was the picture of an infant swaddled in a little caterpillar swaddle. And the idea was it's a caterpillar, and the metamorphosis will make him a butterfly. And I wrote at the bottom of this picture, metamorphosis, because as gregarious as I am and socially active, I think intimacy has been one of the hardest things for me, to have a wife and have a son. And that was the transformation I needed. That was the metamorphosis I needed, and that was my path to prosperity. And I offer my testimonial as something to think about, because you may have something completely different in your life, but wherever you are now, the places that you can go, the faith, the innocence, that sometimes takes a decision to get in the cocoon and let yourself be transformed and metamorphosed. And this workshop is just one of those stepping stones. I don't think there's ever an event where you transform, but there's an intention and you keep walking in that direction. So do attend. You need to register. Call the office. You can pre-register. It's going to be on Tuesdays for January and March. And what a great way to start the new year. Our next slide, again, is back to the themes of next week. And that'll be a week from today, Sunday. We'll be showing the Brown versus Board. And if for any of you who've seen Hamilton, this is a really good time to not only get to know your soul, but to get to know the Constitution and this great framework in which we live. We're really going through growing pains, and it helps to be an informed citizenry. And I think Brown versus Board was one of the most monumental decisions. And I love that, there's that picture of the Supreme Court. I'm born and raised in DC, and to me, just like Unity is a sacred space, that's a sacred space. And we've seen it desecrated. And I think that is a special calling to understand the sanctity and the meaning of these different legal decisions, and all that, will affect our society in the future. Another thing is a straight talk, and that's going to be on Friday. So this upcoming Friday, Cindy Acker again is going to, go into that theme, but probably with a special emphasis to the Martin Luther King holiday, and again, just the relevance in the world today. And then on Saturday, the next day, both Reverend Tim and Cindy are going to do Saturday Night Alive. Maybe some skits, maybe, we'll see, but really an emphasis again on the peace tribe that we're trying to be. And I just feel whenever we say peace, I love to say the word power, because sometimes peace doesn't seem very powerful, but it really inherently is and can be. So please join. Friday we have something, Saturday we have this, and Sunday we have the Brown versus Board. So it's a real chance to, almost like an advent for our Martin Luther King holiday. One of the other great parts of this community, one of the great pieces, are all those who are committed to prayer. And we know that's our reverend, but we also have a whole set of chaplains. They train each year for an entire retreat, And I was a chaplain myself for 8 years and can only say good things about finding the unconditional acceptance and the unconditional listening that these beautiful angels provide. So if you ever have something in the new year or anything that's on your heart, it could be a concern or a sorrow or a joy, do reach out. The number is up there. And by the way, everything I've said is on the website. Email address, silentprayercircle@unitymarin.org. And sometimes it's nice just to write it out, without a voice and to really go into the silence yourself. But 2 great resources to continue on your spiritual journey. I really want to thank, I see her sitting over there. We've got Debbie Sweeney Puma has been our service sponsor. So all these beautiful ornaments and whatnot, these come from people who also lovingly and joyously try to give us prosperity and joy through their own gifts. And if you want to do that, just call the office. I think it's a wonderful thing to do. It's another way to give. And I just wanted to say one final note before we go into our prayer for protection on the faith in action. I myself made a resolution probably 5 years ago when I felt, I wanted to be politically more active, to donate every day, Monday through Friday, to some cause. And God knows there's food security and there's oversight and whistleblowers and Constitution. And it wasn't partisan. I wanted it to be bipartisan, but every day. And if you imagine $1 a day is $250 in the year, that's not that much. But I invite all of you to have that tithing consciousness. Whatever you really, really care about, if you see something in the world, try to do it Monday through Friday. You can automate it. $1 is $2.50, 50 cents is $125, but do something and try to make unity a part of that too, because we really are one of the pillars that are doing what we can to see prosperity and love and tolerance and a higher consciousness evolve in this world. So just, consider that, and for all of you who've given, heartfelt gratitude. So let's say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is. And we'll close now with our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God ever present. Family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. Now, with every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it be